today on purpose. I wanted that sun to get high because this is a new little area. And I wanted to be able to see the bottom, see the grass, looking into the water. If I knew exactly where these mats were located, obviously daylight would be pretty strong. But this is the kind of grass, like I said, we've been talking about this a lot. It's that eel grass. And just riding that matrix over to eel grass is the key. Nice little 1/4 ounce or 1/8 ounce jig head. That's all you need. Oh yeah. Get that puppy right there, boy. That's what I'm talking about. Good fish. All right, so the types of bait fish I'm seeing right now, one of them is a bunch of little needlefish and a lot of pogies. So again, we're gonna stay with that smoking shad like we used in the last episode. Now on this X shad, you can rig it 2 ways. If this grass is a little bit thicker, I'd rig it weedless. I'm just going open face jig head, 1/4 ounce golden or black platinum, but we also have a belly slit on the new X shad, which allows you to rig it weedless with a weedless swim bait hook. That would also be very effective here. And if the water were to drop out, I would go to that as I'd be catching more grass. But right now the water's high, I can run it right over it, and that's what the fish want. Let him just sit on the floor and look. Again, on that smoking shad, 1/4 ounce or 1/8 ounce will work. Black platinum, I'm trying to get it right back out there. And this is the technique, nice and easy. Hit the water and just simply reel. It's a very simple technique I'm using, about as easy as it gets at Lake Pontchartrain, which is known for a very complex fishery, a lot of deep water typically. But this is, as they say, so easy a caveman can do it. It is simply cast out and reel in. There he is. Oh, I missed him. I'm gonna get another throw right there. They're just simply bowing up on it, just like you would be throwing a spinner bait. They're just, you're reeling it, and then boom, they just stop it. Tight schools, like when I catch one, I'll get several bites, and then I got to move on and find another school. Now, when you fish at speckled trout, this is a very common mistake a lot of people make. When you fish at trout in the fall, or you're fishing grass beds like this, you do not need to be glued to the bank. Now, if this grass is all the way up tight to the bank, sure, you can fish up on the bank if you want, but when that vegetation comes out far off the bank, you can just free drift, put the wind to your back, and just cover some ground. And as you can see, we're pretty far off the bank, but my contour on the bottom, which I can see with these polarized matrix mirrors on, is the same way out here as it was real tight to the bank. And a good depth for doing this is about 3 to 5 feet. I'd say I'm in 2 to 4 right here. And, you know, I'm in it a little bit shallower than I typically like, but I'm also being able to see the bottom and contour change right here, which I kind of need as I'm trying to learn this little cove. This is the first time I've really spent any time in here. I came in here not really expecting much or to fish it. Didn't do much the first 20 minutes or so, but I could just see on the bottom that this is what we've been preaching. This is what we're looking for. This is what the fish want. And when I saw the bottom, it looked like it had potential. I just gave it more and more time. There's that eelgrass again. And eventually, I got on a little pattern, started plucking away at them pretty good. And now I have a new spot to the arsenal. But again, like I've said numerous times, and there's numerous areas, grass, 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 that is the key. Eelgrass is great. It's a great grass to fish. And whether you're fishing the north shoreline of Pontchartrain, going towards Mandeville, if you're fishing the eastern shoreline of Pontchartrain around the Cedars, the south side of Pontchartrain by Irish Bayou, we get into some of these canal systems like Gohagens, Lakeshore Estates, Bayou Liberty. You get into Lake Catherine, Mud Lake. Boy, if you can find this ribbon grass, eelgrass, call it what you want, you're gonna have a lot of success in the early fall. Now, as temperatures cool off more, they're gonna go a little bit deeper. They're gonna hang more on structures and current breaks, but during that transition, they love the grass in Lake Pontchartrain, and this is a little bit new to me. In the last few years, I had to kind of put this in my arsenal, and I also learned a lot about this style of fishing in Florida, because this is all we do in Florida is fish over grass beds. So very similar. If I would have got an earlier start this morning, I would definitely be throwing top waters. But with the bluebird skies, I'm just running a jig. Our jerk baits are great for this also. The rip shad, excellent. The matrix minnow, excellent. But this particular grass bed is a little shallow. It's got a lot of that loose eelgrass like this. And those trebles, they're gonna have a tough time cutting through that. So that's why I'm going with the 1/4 ounce. Using that smoking shad again, just like we did last time over the Bayou Liberty shoreline. So see if we can find another patch of them. Hurry up and get this one off. What I'm noticing is when you catch one, you're gonna get 3 or 4 in a row. Let me get this one off real quick. Probably shouldn't have made that much noise as we're fishing this shallow water. That was a tip on what not to do. That was him. I'm just slowly railing a matrix shad on a 1/4 ounce or an 1/8 ounce right over this shallow grass. Another nice trout. Again, just gonna hurry up and get him off. That time it wasn't so loud. You wanna try not to make too much noise when you're fishing these shallows. If you're fishing, there we go. If you're fishing 10, 15 foot of water, you make all the noise you want. But when you're in these shallows, need to be quiet. I'm just covering a huge grass mat that I found on Google Earth. You can see some old islands that used to be here that are underwater now with the over and over hurricanes we get every year. It's just deteriorating some of our wetlands. But those islands are still underwater, they still hold vegetation, and they still hold fish. I've been preaching this for the last several years, that grass in September and October is the key to catching trout around Lake Pontchartrain. The freshwater influx we have now, we get more grass than we used to, and that's what they like to use during those transition months. Oh, this is a good one. It's a good fish. Oh yeah, that's a good fish right there, baby. These are some nice quality trout. Chomping down that matrix on that slow retrieve. I bet you a spinnerbait would work pretty good right now too. Go ahead and put these in the well. All right, so you can see this island right here. I'm sorry, a little grass patch. That is the only evidence I have of that island, or one of the several islands out of the water that used to be here. So that's the kind of stuff that we're looking for. Just 2 years ago, I remember seeing this island passing by. It was probably the size of a small half basketball court, something like that. And now that's all I could see on it. But the vegetation, the habitat, all of that is still there. It's just not as visible. So again, like I was discussing before, you see here's your habitat right there, the eelgrass. Is, you know, these fish are still using the grass that these little islands provide. And that's why I wanted to come out in the middle of the day. You know, I got a cloud over my head right now, so it's hard for me to see, but when it's sunny, I can see every little grass patch. I can see where the sandy spots are, the muddy spots, where the grassy spots are, and that's where these fish are hanging out, where it goes from grass to no grass, grass to no grass. You know, you gotta, if I can see that little bit of grass, I'm catching some fish. And I tell you, like right now, I got one messing with me. Like, put the camera right there. I don't know if you can see all them swirls. That's another thing that when I'm in the mix of catching speckled trout or getting a lot of bites, I got a lot of needlefish chasing me, and that's what was just messing with me just now, was the needlefish. There's just a lot of life on this big grass mat right now. They have stingrays or manta rays floating across it. Like I said, tons of needlefish, pogies, and obviously speckled trout. I mean, this is what the fish want right now, is the grass. So let's see if we can get into another zone and get them going. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close it out right here. Have some fun with these while they're biting. But I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dockside TV. Make sure to check out all of our most recent episodes as we talk about this grass technique over and over and over again on catching nice trout like this right here. And subscribe to the Matrix Bait Box if you want to get your hands on some small goldeneye jig heads. It's perfect for grass fishing. And these new Smoking Shad X Shads. They'll be in your monthly bait box. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to Dockside TV. And until next time, good fishing.